Have you ever been told to slow your backswing down? I know I thought that was the way to gain control of the movement, and so many people do. I know that there's some world-class players who do that, have very slow backswings, but they're in the minority. Let's have a look at what you should be doing and whether or not your backswing is too slow. Hi, I'm Peter Knight, and I've created this channel, Peter Knight Golf, to help you play the best golf you can. And today we're going to have a look at backswing speed. Most players, world-class players, so I'm not talking average players here, but they, from the beginning of their swing to impact, are taking around about 1 second. Now, for the majority of players, it's going to be around about 1.3 seconds or something like that, and that probably includes you. A swing ratio we're looking at timing-wise, the backswing to be around about 3 times as long as it takes to get from the end of the backswing back to impact. So let's say the average player takes about 0.3 of a second to get from the end of the backswing to impact. That's pretty average for most players. Then the backswing time to keep good rhythm should be just under a second. So if you've got some sort of timer and you're looking at the swing, you want to keep it around about a second, perhaps just under. If it's just over, probably no big deal. Now, let's have a look at the reasons why. Aside from upsetting your rhythm, it also means that when the backswing's really slow, the swing itself is open to manipulation. So if I make a very slow backswing, as I'm going back, the only way that I can get the club to go back is by using the muscles of my arms and my hands. What I want to do instead is feel like my body is more responsible for getting the club to go back. So the more I start to use my arms and my hands, the more open it is for the club to move on an incorrect path. Aside from the fact that as my arms go back, my body will definitely turn, but its turn is likely to be restricted. So one little exercise that we can do is, I've got a rope on the ground here. There's many great things you can do with the rope for practice drills. If I swing the rope backwards and forwards and try and move really, really slowly, then as I go back, the rope just droops from my hands. Nothing really happens. So I want to feel like the movement is much more dynamic. So if I just give the rope a little bit of a head start swinging forward, and then when I swing back, the rope actually stays pretty straight as it goes back. So it's almost like my body movement to some extent is flinging my arms and the club back. And if we watch that movement again from the side, in fact, I'll keep it going backwards and forwards, what you'll notice is that the rope's movement stays very much on plane back and through. So you can see that there's no disturbance with that swing path. And I'm not really doing anything at all with my arms and hands as I'm doing that. I'm just allowing my body to turn back and through. There's a very small contribution with my arms, but almost nothing. So with the golf swing, what I want to do is have the same idea of that free turning move going back. So I can start the swing a little bit like what I did with the rope and make it continuous. I might start a little bit forward, turn back, turn through, back and through, and I'm doing my best to avoid any manipulation with my hands and arms. Now, for most players, there is too much work going on with hands and arms. So doing this exercise is actually quite a challenge to stop the hands doing too much work. Another way of doing it, and again, this is only a demonstration, is if I hold the club in my fingertips. So now I have zero control with my arms and my hands. And again, I'll just let the club start here, but as I turn back and through, the movement looks very golf swing-like. And again, I can't be controlling it. I'm only holding with enough pressure in my fingertips so that I don't let the club fly out of my hands. But it's that sensation of body movement, almost flinging my arms and the club back and through, that gives me the build-up of elastic energy, which is what I want in my golf swing. The other thing too is if I allow the club to move back and through at a reasonable pace, I don't have to feel like I've got to accelerate a lot in the downswing. There'll be a natural acceleration, of course, If my downswing is only taking, you know, a third of the time that my backswing takes, then of course it's moving down faster and it is accelerating. But I don't have to feel like I've got to really help that acceleration process if my backswing is fast enough. If it's too slow, I've got to feel I've really got to help it. So if I play this shot here, at my normal swing rhythm, we'll see the backswing is not too slow. And I can keep rhythm and balance with my swing as it does go back and through. With every club, it's the same. Now, for a lot of you, that movement is going to feel really fast going back. If you've got a timer on your phone, if you're recording on your phone, you should be able to watch and see how long that backswing takes. So use 1 second as a guide. If you're a little under or a little over, that's fine. And keep working to that feel, and you'll find that you will build that elastic energy. Should be a lot easier to retain balance and rhythm as you do so.